Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Man, it's that time of year where it's like cold and I find myself tinkering around with baits, just kind of looking online, picking up stuff, comparing deals. And I actually got some new crankbaits from Bill Lewis. You know, Bill Lewis is known for the rattle trap. They also have some really good shallow to mid-depth crankbaits, the ATV, the SB57, the MR6, the MR12, but they were missing that deep diving crankbait in their lineup. They just released the DR24 and I got my hands on some, so I was kind of playing around with them, checking them out, and it's a big, nasty crankbait. Look at that sucker. It's got some unique things going on in this crankbait. Color-wise, there's some different cool colors, but just right off the bat, the way this bill design is, and it kind of just keeps on going into the body, is very unique. I think they call this ledge technology. Yeah, it's called ledge technology. So if you look down the face of this bill, it just kind of continues up the body, and that's going to cause the water to just continue to push this bait down. It's got these really cool little ridges on the side. It's just kind of like a space age looking crankbait, man. So rounds out nicely right here. It's got good hardware. Mustad triple grip hooks, good split rings on it. It's got a nice low thud sound to it. I like that. There's no small rattles in there. In fact, I was looking at this gizzard shad one, and you can see it's got 3 ball bearings in it, and it has a weight transfer system. That one ball bearing just kind of rocks back and forth in there. So you got 3 ball bearings. One's kind of fixed. This one up towards the nose is fixed. The one in the middle is the weight transfer system. And then there's the belly weight. Get that nice, really nice thud sound. Doing some research on this, it gets down there in that 24 to 25 foot zone, and it's really a digger. Gets down pretty fast and it stays on the bottom. Here's some footage off of Matt Becker's fishing YouTube channel that shows the DR24 on forward-facing sonar and just how fast it gets down, how deep it goes, and how it just digs and stays on the bottom for a long period of time. Let's see how deep
we can get that one. There it comes on the screen. Oh, there's a fish following it. Let's do that again. There it is coming into the screen. We're hitting the bottom there. 26, 27 feet. We are digging in the bottom. There, it popped up off the bottom right there. Ooh, a fish followed it up. See that? Man, that sucker gets down there deep.
Now, I got some other crankbaits here, and I wanted to kind of compare them to some of the more popular crankbaits that are out there as far as the weight and the size. Here's a 6XD. A lot of people throw a 6XD. It's been around forever. So the 24 is quite a bit bigger than the 6XD. Not way bigger, but it is definitely bigger than the 6XD. A little bit bigger profile. It's going to pull a lot harder, but it gets down a lot further. I mean, the 6XD, it typically stays around that 15 foot zone, I'm thinking. I mean, they say 19, but honestly, it's kind of like that 15 to 16 foot zone, 14 to 16 foot zone, where this is going to get down there in that 24 foot zone and stay down there. And then the 10XD, that's a really big, hard pulling bait, and it's supposed to get down in that mid 20s. It kind of stays in that 20 foot zone, maybe 22 on a really long cast, 10-pound test. But these are very similar as far as the size of the body. They are shaped differently, but just looking at them profile wise, very similar. I would say the DR24 is just a little bit smaller, but let's weigh these and throw them on a tape measure just to see if there is any differences that I'm not seeing. All right, first off, we got the 6XD. I'm gonna slap it on the scale and see what we come up with. It's a 1 ounce bait. We can change the units. So you got 27 grams, 1 ounce, right on the money. And then let's try the 10XD. Slap the sucker on there. 2 ounce bait, 57 grams. And let's do the DR24. It says it's 1.5 ounces on the package. So 1.7, a little bit heavier than what it says on the package. 49 grams. Let's try the other one just to see. 48 grams. 1.7. Yep, 1.7. So it's a little bit heavier than what it says on the package, but it's lighter than the 10XD. A little bit heavier than the 6XD, a little bit lighter than the 10XD. Now let's lay a tape to them and see what happens. Okay, first we got the 6XD laying down there on the tape. And it is basically a 3-inch bait. So it's, you know, you don't measure the bill. The actual body is what you measure the length of the bait by. So from the nose to the back hook hanger is right at 3 inches. I'm going to throw the 10XD on there. And it is basically like 4 inches. It's a little bit hard to tell because of the curvature, but it's like a 4-inch bait for the most part. I'm going to just go with 4-inch, and then we're going to throw the DR24 on there. And it's a little bit smaller. It is a little bit smaller. It's like 3 3/4. Yeah, like 3 3/4. A little bit between 3 3/4, maybe 5/8. So a little bit smaller than the 10XD, definitely larger than the 6XD. There you go, a little more information on the DR24 as I'm looking here on the website. It's the Deep Range 24. That's what the DR stands for. It stands for Deep Range. And it features the innovative diving planes on the sides of the bait called ledge technology. So that's these ridges that they're talking about. It comes in 6 colors, and there's some pretty cool colors. You know, this is that blue chartreuse. This is one of the standard deep diving crankbait colors. Gizzard shad. There's a purple chartreuse, and they've got like a Gizzriz, citrus shad, threadfin 2.0, and the price point, it's like $11.99. So that's a good price point for a really deep diving crankbait. It's not going to break the bank. It's cheap enough to where you can pick up a couple different colors. It's a bigger crankbait, you know, 1.5 ounces to 1.6, 1.7, depending on which bait it is. So and it pulls hard. So you are going to have to get a little bit beefier crankbait rod. You're definitely not going to be able to throw it on just a square bill rod. 7.6 to probably 7.10. Something that is capable of handling 1.5 ounce bait, because this thing does pull hard. These deep diving crankbaits, they do pull hard. So you want something with a kind of a soft tip to absorb some of that so it's not wearing you out. 12-pound test, man, 12-pound fluorocarbon. It's kind of a standard go-to. You could probably go up to like a 14 or maybe a 16 on this, but 12 all around, it's going to be, it's going to allow that bait to get down and do what it needs to do. Gives it plenty of action. You know, something that happens if you get too heavy a line, you restrict the diving depth and you restrict the action. So most guys will tell you like 12 pounds, a pretty happy medium all around. So hey, it's kind of cold right now. Sitting here tinkering. Hope you enjoy the video. Thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. We just need some warm weather. You know, spring's going to be here before too long. This is something you can catch some fish on. Maybe pre-spawn, but definitely post-spawn. We got a ways to go, but looking on the website, picking up some baits, just dreaming about warmer weather to come. Until next time.